Okay, it's much better now, I think. Like that, like that.
Clear the track, go first corner. Track is clear. Open track, open track. Next one up, we have clear the track for the second corner.
Fifth race weekend of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. 30 years on since the 1994 Winter Olympic Games. We are in Lillehammer in Norway, celebrating that anniversary and the 40th anniversary of our presenting sponsor, Hunderfossen Winter Park, one of the loyalist supporters of this venue and part of the driving force of bringing the World Cup back. And what a race they have seen so far. A titanic battle for supremacy with 3 German sleds and a Swiss team in the hunt for the medals. Francesco Friedrich lying in 3rd place in a dead heat with Switzerland's Mickey Vogt, and the two of them are just 0.04 of a second out of the silver medal position. So Mihai Paceanu, we're going to see a lot of changes in our entire top 20, and I think possibly for the medals as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tight battle and a very close times after first run. So here probably is going to win who is more constant and who can manage to do the same better run or same speed, same everything. It will matter. Every 100 will matter.
Young Adam Amour for Germany in 2nd place. He knows the track perhaps better than his more senior teammates, and he's got another chance of a World Cup medal here. But the man who's a step and a bit ahead of the rest of them, no surprises perhaps given his form this season and last in 2- and 4-man, Johannes Lochner with Georg Fleischhauer. They are leading by over 1/4 of a second, or nearly 1/4 of a second, 24 hundredths from Adam Amour, 28 hundredths ahead of Vogt and Friedrich. And it's a short track. Mistakes are going to be punished, aren't they? So I think it's who, as you said, whoever's going to be cleanest. And look right behind, Frankie Del Duca with Swiss Simon Friedli, Brad Hall 200ths ahead of Tsipoulis, he's 200ths ahead of Callender. There are tight battles all the way down the order.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tight battle there for top 10. As we can see, also for 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 place, very close.
Everybody's got a target, haven't they? Lee Chun-jan just making it through into the top 20, but that's the man they all have to beat, and his brakeman there, Georg Fleischhauer. Fleischhauer, former win on this track in Europe Cup as a brakeman. Hansi, this is his first official race here, and there in the left-hand side in the familiar rainbow beanie is Francesco Friedrich, the standout driver of his generation, no question. A little bit of bending and stretching in the afternoon sunshine. It's a beautiful day here, high in the mountains, just a couple of hours north of Oslo. Last World Cup races here were back in 2004, but it was not then on the men's calendar, so they have not raced here this century. Now, Lee Chun-jan of China will be first off. Matej Burnek of the Czech Republic and teammate Adam Dubesh next up. Then Mihai Tentea of Romania moving on down into our lead group. And that, again, is where the battles are going to start getting pretty frantic. But Johannes Lochner is going to have to go some to give this one away. So race 5 of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton 2-man World Cup weekend. Here we are. This is Lee Chun-jan and Chu Zilong of China getting the 2nd heat underway. Martin Haven and Romania's Mihai Paceanu watching the action with you.
Well, let's see the first leg of the 2nd run. They managed a nice 5:14 in the first run and 5:13. They found 100, which can mean one higher spot. Let's see if he can manage to do a little bit better run. The first run was looking a bit overdriving it. He was looking a bit rough too.
He's got the opportunity here to improve. Clear ice. It's had a little fresh coating of water on it to give it that real high sheen. So he should have quick ice.
Till now he's looking very smooth and much better run. And also the speed looks a little bit higher than first run.
Nice exit out of 13. That's as good as we've seen. Let's see what he can do. 131.6 at the bottom. That's pretty decent speed. 81.7 miles an hour.
51.41. Wow. 2/10 faster than first run.
That looked like a lot better run from Lee Chun-jan, and it was. I mean, he has no business being down in 20th place with his experience and the backup they've got in terms of knowledge for that crew. So he comes through and is, at least for the moment, in the leader's box.
Yeah, he managed to do a much better run, and that's the goal when you are in the second run, to beat yourself and to try to be faster than you've been in the first one.
Well, his brakeman, Chu Xilong, making his first ever two-man World Cup start. So congratulations to him. And that's a much better exit out of 13 than we saw from Lee in the first heat. It was just a much tidier run all the way through.
And now he's gonna put a lot of pressure on the next slide up, because just 500s within them.
Coach Yanis Minins down there, always with the interrogation after the race. Next up then is Matej Bejonek of the Czech Republic. Michal Dobeš behind him.
He's an absolute monster. He's so big and strong. So I think they weren't so satisfied with 5:17. So we should expect a little bit faster start.
Good crowd watching up at the start. You can see all the helpers here, the workers around the track in their blue vests, the crew vests, and shout out 516. Shout out to them as well as to everybody else for putting on a fantastic World Cup venue. Beautiful eyes. The crews, particularly those who have never been here before, really complimentary about the track, and the welcome has just been outstanding. It is a fabulous place to come.
So they found also 100 at the start, same as the Chinese sled. The velocity wasn't the best, but now it looks like he has the best speed, even with some little mistakes up there.
Yeah.
100s is going to be very tight.
Creeping away, he was 500s in front. He's not yet got 500s in the bank. Has he now?
A much better exit than 13 than compared with first round when he took a load, but now he got another drift and 700s.
All right, 500s up in the first heat. He was 200s quicker in the second, so the total
Not so satisfied, yeah.
Coaches don't always have to say what they're thinking, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, down and done. So Matej will be no worse than 19th.
So it looks like the track is getting even faster. Let's see if it can maintain like that till the last sled. Till now, both sleds were almost 2/10 faster.
Well, Roman Heinrich, during the first heat, was pointing out to me that the two-man record was now inside the four-man record, and normally the four-man sled starts faster, carries more speed. He's absolutely right. The four-man record will be eliminated tomorrow unless we don't race. It's going, because the two-man sleds are now quicker.
We should expect maybe a 49 big in four-man, which is absolutely stunning on this track. Second Czech sled now, Adam Dobes, with a much better start, but again he had some troubles on the track, and he wasn't too happy with his run.
I think the weather was so different on the final day of training, when quite a lot of people were focusing on four-man as well, that actually I think it feels very different today. 5:10, so not quite as quick at the start.
Yeah, it's the first sled which is going a little bit slower in the second run. But
maybe his focus was just to get corners 1 and 2 and 3 right, and they do look nice and smooth. Through 6, you can barely see that there is a second pressure there, and that's what you want.
Third best speed, and that's putting him in danger. He had an advantage of just 1300, so let's see if he can keep it till the end of the track. Still 2/10. Second best speed, he's coming a little bit better now.
His teammate was quicker here, though. That's a good exit.
Good exit, yeah, and the 14-15 was looking good too, and it should be enough.
Rocks off 15 into 16, 51.370, so
just 700 faster, but still enough to maintain his place.
So Michal Dobeš following teammate Matej Bejonek out of the leader's box, as Adam Dobeš, no relation, and Dominik Zaleski move in. Good to see lots of young fans here as well as their mums and dads. And I'm sure a lot of fans discovering that this track has actually been open since 1994. There's not much awareness of it outside of the bobsledding world. You see them digging in deep there. Zaleski, the Czech 100-meter record holder. He's not just fast, he's big and strong as well.
Now it's starting the big battle here. We have 5-6 sleds just in 1:10.5, so everything is going to be super close.
Well, we have to admit that we have a dog in this race, or at least Mihai does. It's his teammate Mihai Tentea with Constantin Dinescu making his first ever two-man World Cup race and only his second ever two-man World Cup start of any kind.
Let's see what they can produce. We are all a new young team, and we all started together. They jumped together in the sled in 5:16. They found also no, it's same start as the first run, but second velocity, and that says a lot.
All right, they had 300s in hand over Adam Debesh of the Czech Republic, who started 600s quicker.
Everything is going to be very tight, and Mihai knows the track very well. And look at this very nice line in 6, and there we go, the fastest speed so far, and he's coming.
Ooh, little tap there, 7 to 8, but he was much cleaner at the top of the track. Get the start alive, but that was a little wavy in 10.
Green number, 600, fastest speed so far, and this can be a very good run, a perfect exit of 13, and we're gonna put him in a position to attack the other spots too.
Yeah.
132.5 fastest speed so far, and 51.23, 2/10 faster. That's a very good run.
Yeah, 2 or 3 sleds in front.
He's saying that he should drive the same in the fourth run too. He did some mistakes.
2 or 3 sleds in front, covered by, in fact, 5 sleds covered by 1,500. So 1 mistake from any of them, and they're going to plummet down the order. This is a very tight little group, 10 to 15, always is.
Yeah, he managed it well. A little bit flop here out of 10, and a little
that was the real bit of the track that I thought wasn't at his best. 10 to 11, big double pressures in 10, and he didn't really straighten them out.
Yeah, and it's very tough there because all the curves are on the same part, and it's also very easy to drift there and lose a lot of speed.
Right, looks a lot happier with that. That clearly felt better, and it was better. So that pushes pressure on to Sun Kai-chi of China. Cheng Heng behind him, excuse me. And Sun just 300ths of a second in front.
Yeah, just 300s. But
new
track
to him as well, so getting 2 runs that are as good as each other that's gonna be the challenge for those who are new to the track, who don't really know it well.
Exactly, and they are all on maximum on the pressure, competition pressure. So let's see what they did. They did a 5:11 in the first round, a 13 best start time, which is very impressive for the Chinese team.
Leaps in nicely, nice and neat. 5:15.
400 slower. That's good for my teammates.
Well, they only add 100th to their advantage, so 400s in hand as they start. So it's effectively a dead heat.
500 in front.
Neat and tidy. Does he get 6 right? Not bad.
Not too bad with 6, entry in 7, 8, 9 are looking good. Fastest speed so far, and 600 in front.
9, and then the double pressure, 10, flops off there.
200, he lost a little bit there, but he still has the best speed. He's going to be very, very close. Entry in 13 was super, super late. Still 200s.
It's going to be very close. Best speed of all, should just about have the lead at the line. No, it's a dead heat.
It's a tie.
Wow, there you go. There's the first tie of the run. Yeah, 10-11 just looked like it was going to take some speed out of the sled, and in the end it did. He was a whisker faster than Mihai Tentea down at the bottom, but that was going away in those final corners.
Not a bad run for the Chinese sled, considering that probably they just made their first ever runs on this track.
Yeah, he had big early height there in 15, and that's what cost him. Hard take on to 16. This is the run down into 13, gets bumped away a little, and then big dig into the ice as you take on to 13. So although the exit looked good, lots of energy went away entering 13.
You couldn't be later than that in entry 13, and that cost a little bit.
All right, Sun Kai-chi and Mihai Tentea lead. 5 down, 15 to go.
And now it's coming Mattia Variola, which is also with 500s in front.
Yeah, 200s ahead of Sun, 500s ahead of Tentea. And while we make that sound like some sort of margin, it takes 700ths of a second to blink the human eye. So that's how close these sleds are. 5:11.
Jose found also 100 there. He's an ex-track and field athlete, an ex-sprinter, 100-meter sprinter, and we can see that why he chose bobsleigh.
a little to the left there, coming down into 5.
Entry in 6 was a bit wavy, and that's why he had third best speed.
And hard onto 7 as well. Out of 9 into 10. Big early pressure, big late pressure as well.
That's a lot of steering there out of 10, and that's going to cost him.
Yeah, and it doesn't show on the speed immediately, but it will do. Out of 13, he's clean.
No, he's still maintaining there.
Wow.
He's very close.
Those big loops look like they should have brought him back, but 51.17.
Yeah. He didn't do such a great run, but he still found almost 2/10 than the first run.
He shuffles 4 men out of the leader's box as he gets ahead of Sun Kai-chi and Mihai Tentea. And the next sled, which is Switzerland's Cedric Follador, has only 100th in hand, and so that means that he too must beat all 3 of them.
Yeah, for Follador is going to be a lot of pressure because a little bit of mistakes and he can fall 3 places, and that's not what you want.
Well, Variola was pretty loopy through 10 and 11 and then onto 13, but got away with it, kept the speed up.
Yeah, it seems that he was driving, he was forcing the sled a little bit at the exit of 10 there and 11, but the speed didn't go away so much.
Well, maybe he wasn't fighting to save. There's Big Jose. Yeah, he's one of the keys to their speed at the start. Next up, Cedric Follador of Switzerland with Anglo-Swiss Greg Jones. Gregory, not the most Swiss name you've ever heard, but his English is as excellent as his Swiss Deutsch. I don't know what it's like in Romansh. I've never really asked. Maybe I will do one day. 5:20 start in the first heat. 5:21.
I'm not sure if they have some injury troubles, but the start isn't there where it should be for this team, for this Swiss team. But Cedric is driving in general pretty good, so let's see if he can come back.
Now then, he started slower than the 3. In fact, every sled so far in this heat, but the 3 that he's battling, he started slower than all of them. And he's bringing it back, was 1200s back, then 1100s, still 1100s.
Second best speed is going to be very close.
This could be a 3-way tie with Mihai Tentea and Sun Kai-chi of China right now.
12, it's going to be super, super close, second best speed.
He's behind. This is him dropping from 1st to 4th at the line. He does drop to 4th by 100th.
Wow.
So Mihai picks off a couple. Sun Kai-chi moves up a spot as well. Mattia Variola moves up a spot. Cedric Follador and Greg Jones slip back 3 positions.
That's not a race what he was planning to do.
For sure.
So no better than... oh, actually, that's pretty rough for him. No better than 16th place for Follador.
On the left into 40, into 13, and that always going to cost. Here's the exit of 13. Looked relatively smooth, but he'd had to work very hard to get the exit he wanted coming on late. So Cedric Follador drops 3 spots. It's Mattia Variola who leads. Next up, John Stambridge. I am indebted to, I am beholden to him to say happy birthday to Mum Patricia Stambridge, watching it back home in the UK. Also, I have to correct the Mark Silver of British Bobsleigh, that Alex Cartagena is from 14 Squadron Royal Air Force. Based at RAF Waddington, not 15 Squadron Royal Air Force. Never trust a rocket, that's what I say.
He's born in Spain and raised in Doncaster.
Yeah.
And John had a very bad injury 2 years ago in Altenberg. He broke his neck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those things happen also sometimes in Bobsleigh. And he's also the last led part of this very tight group now.
5:18 getaway. They started 5:17 in the first heat. They were first out, and we weren't quite sure whether they'd had a good run, an okay run. In fact, they had a really strong run. 13th place in only a 2nd World Cup start.
Oh, very wavy in 6. That's going to cost a lot, probably.
It is.
6 best speed so far.
He's trying to let it
7.
fly, but it's flying a little bit out of his control. 300ths of a second back, but the speed is going away. 500s back. Best speed of all, maybe being wild and loose. Is this the Rico Peter way of driving? As John Morgan used to call it, still only 500s back. 4th best speed.
So far, and a little bit drift of the
And
50s.
second at the line.
Just
It will
100.
Still be no worse than 14th place. His best World Cup result. Well done, Stanners. 19th in San Moritz, no worse than 14th. Excellent stuff. 100% self-funded, receives no outside assistance. He's raised £80,000 to come racing this year himself. So, like a racing driver, gone out and found his own money. Huge height in the first pressure in 6.
And just 200 to miss 3 places. That was very close battle.
Yeah.
And it ended up with a very good result for him.
Excellent stuff. Well, there you go. Mum Patricia. John Boy trying to give you as good a birthday as he can. Calm down now. Let's have a nice cup of tea. Is it too early? 10 to 2, a little bit early for the Prosecco. Go on, open it. It's your birthday. All right, so Mattia Variola leads with 12 to go. Marcus Treichel and Christian Huber next up. Started 5:11, 13th best start. Drove themselves into 12th place. See if we can find a little bit more in this second run.
That's a very long run from Christian on the back. I heard that he is the fastest sprinter in the Austrian team, and that's how he's been for like last 3-4 years.
Yeah. All right, 2900s up. This is where we get our sort of next step sea change in the field. He was 1900s ahead of John Stanbridge. He was 2100s ahead of Cedric Follador from the first heat, and he's adding to that all the way down, ahead of Mattia Variola, rather. Adding to that all the way down. Best speed of all. Oh. Whips off there.
Exit of 13 wasn't too bad, but that heat
still got good
make
speed.
him have the best speed.
Look, he's coached by Wolfgang Stamfer, the sled whisperer, 51.05.
Just a little bit faster than the first run, but it looked to me a way better run.
Still out of his control down at the bottom. He was hanging on there rather than leading the sled through by its nose. So don't leave him hanging. Poor kid there in his jacket, trying to get the high five. Look here, as we get down to the bottom where the speeds really start to pick up, down into 14. Oh, boom! I mean,
that bump,
they are both out of the seat there, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah, you don't really want to take that bump, and then we're gonna see some action tomorrow in Foreman.
There's going to be lots of... Look at that. Is there a one runner on the ice? Yeah, only the left front runner on the ice there when he hits that take on. Simone Bertazzo checking the phone. A big smile there from Marcus Treichel. He leads with 11 to go. Boris Vian and Antoine Rieu of Monaco next up. 4th best start, 5 dead. Okay, boys, time to break into the draw that has 4 point something start times.
Yeah, considering that they had a very good start number, and with that start, boys didn't have the best driving line, so I'm sure he's looking out to improve it.
Well, we know his name because he's been around.
502.
502, not quite as quick. He's been around for several years as a brakeman with Ruda Rinaldi, and now his first season driving in World Cup. So Boris still really in the foothills of his career, learning with every track and every run.
Exactly, he's still a rookie in driving. So
nice and smooth in 6, nice in the labyrinth. This is good, out of 9, wrong side into 10. High second pressure, but he's keeping the speed up, holding his advantage. Still 1400s in the bank.
A little bit flop out of 12 and late entry in 13, but he managed it well, and I think should be enough to keep his position.
Not getting the speeds from the sled, but it looks like he's got enough, only by a couple of hundreds.
51.05, just 100 of a second faster than first run.
Yep. And exactly the same second heat time as the man he's just beaten, Marcus Treichel. So the 400s he had in the first heat proved to be invaluable. He comes in 400s in front in the second.
Yeah, it's still a good place for Monaco team. This was super height there, and you can see the water how is squeezing on the ice there.
Yeah.
That's making usually the ice fast.
Great view there of Big Boris in front and Antoine Rieu tucked in out of the airstream behind, rocking out of 15 into 16. There you go. Small principality, big characters.
So he won't be worse than 11th place.
10 down, 10 to go, and we still have no idea who's going to win this one here in Lillehammer. Well, Boris Van, after the first 10 sleds, now leading, but he has just a 200th of a second deficit to the man in 10th, Patrick Baumgartner. Baumgartner will be next up, so that's by no means guaranteed that he's going to hang on, and we've seen so many of these tight battles. It's not the longest track, it's not St. Moritz. It's even snowier, perhaps, even than St. Moritz, but it's got plenty of challenge. And look over, these are the Olympic ski pistes on the far side of the valley from us. Very busy afternoon in some beautiful sunshine. And you can see the kids that are in our hotel have been racing down. They've got the GS course marked out in blue there.
Yeah, the surroundings are just absolutely amazing here, and the weather, it's very good these days.
And the kids have been coming out, and there's 2 or 3 little sliding areas beside the park itself. I'm sure this is mountain bike central during the summer as well. Yeah, mountain bikes and midgets probably, but it's an absolutely stunning location. And a fantastic job by the ice crew, by the organisers, right from the moment that we had the opening ceremony all the way through so far. It's just been absolutely fantastic and great to bring a spotlight onto this track, because some of the locals here were saying even in the local villages, they're not entirely sure or aware that the track is still open after the 94 games. So a great opportunity to maybe reignite interest in this sport, because there is only one winter sport in Norway, and that is the biathlon, cross-country, and mixed disciplines. You know, they've got such a strong heritage in that draws all the attention and all the money, and to try and reignite their sliding sports would be a great thing to do.
Yeah, in a country where skiing is just dominating everywhere, it's lovely to see that they can maintain the track and they can prove us such good conditions here for this Worldcup.
Back in Lillehammer in Norway with our 2-man World Cup race number 5. 10 sleds down, 10 to go. Patrick Baumgartner and Robert Mazzea for Italy in 10th place after the first heat. Current leaders from Monaco, Boris Van and Antoine Rieu, were only 200ths behind in the first heat. And a 5.06 start for Baumgartner and Mazzea. They knew they needed a little bit more, and they found it.
The beast on the back, Mircea, it's absolutely amazing to see him. He's so strong and so powerful, and that's the answer. They just found 1/100 also.
Best speed of all so far. And this was the venue not just for the 94 Winter Games, but the 26 Youth Olympics. We're looking here at the man who won the 2012 Youth Olympics in boys bobsleigh.
A very late entry in 13 and a little flop out of 13, but I think it should be enough.
900s up, second best speed. He's still growing the margin.
900s, 50.98, and just 800s faster than the first run, but they maintained the top 10, and that's still a good result, and you're going to maintain him in top 10 in the world.
Yeah. Currently, Patrick Baumgartner raced in ranked 6th in the points. 4th, 7th, 9th and 8th. So if he doesn't improve, this will actually be his worst race of the season. And there's not many years where a 10th place finish would be his worst result. Big skid there, and you could see the sled turning hard right as the corner started to go left. And you know what it's like in the back of the sled. You really feel the sled as it whips onto the corner, and all that energy is no longer driving you forward if it's pushing men sideways.
Exactly, you can feel absolutely everything on the back.
So into our top 10. Patrick Baumgartner leads. Next up, 600s ahead of him. And again, we're into a really tight set of battles here. Jekubs Kalender and Edgars Ungars of Latvia. They had 600s in hand. The next sled, their teammates, only 200s quicker. So lots of potential for one error to give places away here.
Edgars Ungars is another beast from Latvian team. From this program, which we are seeing him more and more often. He's still a rookie. He doesn't have too many races under his belt, but he's proving that he's deserving his spot.
Yeah, Jakob's calendar crashed in the final day of training. One top 10 result this season, so if he can hang on here, this will be his best result of the year so far. Big looping corner there, 300s back.
That drift and that entry into not gonna help, and third best speed so far. This is not the run he wished to have, and I think he's gonna... No, he's still maintaining there, but 7th best speed.
Even if he slips one, he will still have a season's best result.
100!
And that's why they duck their head. That 100th of a second, that's what makes the difference between a dead heat and taking the position.
I'm not so sure how to explain this. How did it happen? I was expecting him to fall at least 2 places, but he did something there. He did.
Well, you saw the reaction of Sandis Prusis. He didn't expect it either, so it's not just us.
I saw the reaction of Italians too. Nobody expected that.
No, he was behind the 8 ball all the way down, not by much.
There were a lot of mistakes. This one, exit of 11, entering 12. Look at this drift and how early he is entering in 12. And how wavy is this 50 in
But
here.
not as sideways as Baumgartner was going on to 13, and maybe that's where he started to just overhaul the Italians. And yeah, the brakeman's almost the first to get his head up there across the line.
Good job from
Excellent.
the Latvian team, which won't be worse than 9th place. And now we are on the top for another Latvian team.
Yeah, exactly. 200s. This is the Latvian battle for supremacy. Emils Čipulis, Tavs Springs, ahead of Jakobs Calendar and Egos Ungas in the first heat. They don't care what else happens in the race. They do not want to lose to their teammates.
Yeah, 5:02, they found 200th of a second. And compared with the other Latvian team, they are way more experienced. Also, the brakeman, probably the brakeman of Čipulis is even more experienced than Calendar.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Čipulis had to find, they had to find 200s at the start. They were only 200s ahead of their teammates. Their teammates went 200s better. They knew the pressure was on. 1400s better. This is a much better looking drive from Čipulis.
Bit wavy there.
It's where he crashed in the 4-man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a line which they are trying, because both they did actually the same mistake there, but
Speed's going away a little, but his teammate wasn't quick either.
But I think this is more about climbing spots than beating Calendar.
Oh, no, no, no. It's more about beating Calendar. If he picks up spots as well, that's a bonus.
Okay,
but
okay.
It's, come on, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, you don't care how fast Georg Fleischauer is sprinting. It's about how fast your teammates are, or how much they can clean, or how much they can power lift. It's
always a competition.
It's always in the team. That's what makes teams better.
Yeah, look at this exit. Again, it looks similar as Calendar line, so maybe they are trying something different. I'm not sure if we're going to find out, but the results are proving that there is something not so wrong with it.
Although they're down at the bottom of the top 10, not the top of the top 10. So maybe the more conventional line that the quicker drivers are using is actually working. We'll wait and see. They are giving away speed at the start, and all of it adds up. It's not just the start, it's not just the drive.
Now it's a little bit bigger gap, but it's getting closer and
300ths
closer.
of a second ahead are Brad Hall and Taylor Lawrence. Now they did start late in the draw, 19th out of our 22 sleds. So they had very different ice to a lot of the sleds in front of them. Let's see if Brad and Big T can produce another big start. 5:05 in the first heat. Sean Olsen yelling them off there.
Look at the size of Taylor.
5:03.
5:03. They still found 200. And let's not forget that Brad is still injured.
Well, the whole team is. Big T is the only man who's not injured. That's because he's made of Teflon.
Yeah.
300s up. This is going to be tight as you like. Brad drove a nice first heat. This is his new Accent 2-man sled, Accent the people that make the Monobob. 100th in it. This is very close with Čipulis.
Still 100. It's going to be very close. Second best speed.
Now, this is what he did at the bottom on the last run, on the first heat. He found better speed at the bottom.
400 and best speed so far, so I
Here we
think
go.
it should be enough if we don't have a surprise here. No, 1200.
And again, went from a couple of hundreds up to 1200s up in those final 4-5 corners. 50.85. There's Greg Cackett on the left.
Yeah, that's just because the track there is flat and it's actually going also a little bit uphill.
Uphill out of 15 through 16 to the finish, absolutely. So, yeah, clean there. It's like if you think about cycling, if you carry speed down the hill and going up the other side of the hill, you don't want to start slowing down uphill.
They won't be not worse than 7th place, and I think they are satisfied with this place, considering what they went through all the season.
Well, it's only their 3rd World Cup start of the season. And, yeah, barely healthy. Definitely not at their best. They're starting 5:05. They want to be down 4:95, but that's going to have to wait.
Now we start the battle for top 6.
Yeah, this is really where the fight for the medal starts with Frank Del Duca. And again, can't say enough about what a season this young man is having. His first on the World Cup, first full season as a driver. Maneo Mitchell on the back of the 2-man sled. This is only his 2nd 2-man World Cup race. His only previous one was in Whistler in November 2022 at the beginning of last season.
Yeah, they have a very impressive beginning of the 2-man season. Actually, just last week in St. Moritz, it wasn't how they wished. In the rest, I don't think they missed a top 6, which is impressive.
2 4th-place finishes. I mean, he's been knocking on the door of the podium. You've got 3 German sleds, 3 Swiss sleds, 2 Latvian sleds, and he's still had 2 top 4s. A brand new driver. This is a brand new sled as well. It's built in the US, so it's new equipment being developed all the time. Only 500s is the lead, but he's still got a lead.
And let's not forget about the new track, which you have to learn.
Absolutely. Really rattled the wall.
It's going to be close. That exit of 13 wasn't so good. It's going to be super close. Brad had a better speed. And
just there you go. It's the tough hundredths of a second. 50.96 slide for Frankie Del Duca, but it is another top 6 finish for Frank.
Yeah, just a little bit slower than first round, but they are in top 6.
2 4ths, a 13th in St. Moritz, which was really uncharacteristic, and another top 6 finish guaranteed.
Very late entering 13 here, and look how the sled is cutting the ice.
Yeah, well, I doubt he's done pre- or post-season races here, Frank Del Duca. So it is a new track. All right, they were here last week as well, same as Keishalov and the rest of the US team, but it's still finding the experience to beat the best drivers and developing a new sled and a new team. Top 6 again, guaranteed. Big Maneo Mitchell. All right, and again, we talk about tight battles. 5 left. Frank Del Duca leads. No clear air between our current leader, Frank Del Duca of the USA, and the 5th place man after the first heat of 2, Simon Friedli of Switzerland. 200ths of a second his advantage. That could go away before they're even sat down in the sled.
5:09.
There you go. 400 slower than their previous start and 400 slower than the Americans, who picked up 200s. So they sit down behind Del Duca.
Yeah, that's not how they wanted to start this run for sure. But he looked like he is coming. Let's see. He knows the track well. He has a lot of runs here. The Swiss team is doing a lot of runs here before season, after season. And now he's coming, 100, it's going to be very close battle.
Right, Skiddy doesn't have the best speed. Brad Hall still quickest most of the way down the track. And certainly at the bottom, 100th in it. Is he going into...
With the Skiddy Akolobo, it's a tie. Let's see, turbine speed.
I don't know, I can't read it. At the line, it's Del Duca!
It's under Brad Hall too, it's on 3rd place actually.
Brad Hall moves up a spot, so Brad guaranteed a top 6, Frank guaranteed a top 5. Don't think, look, the gaps are so tiny, 200ths of a second, a third of the time it takes your eye to blink. It's insanely close.
It is. It is. That's why on this track, every mistakes it costs. And he did a mistake there. Little hit, and that's the problem. The back started to move.
And he's climbing
he
uphill at that
yeah.
stage into 14, and
He just took that fully bump directly. And
they all add up. Nobody is clean down here. It's just the person who makes the fewest mistakes.
and there we
Okay.
go. Fight for the medals.
Yep, we had a tie for the bronze. Francesco Frigic and Alexander Schuller.
And it's going to be maybe in another 4th place for Frank De Luca. Let's see.
Well, these two have not had a two-man gold this season, but they
It's
have
starting
not
to be the
finished
fight
off
also for
podium.
the start record right now. So
Yeah.
let's see. Usually Francesco is pushing faster in the second run, and it's 494. It's faster, but still not enough. 100
Okay.
of the second.
Yeah, the start record dates back to 1993. Some old guy called Pierre Luders, who is still here coaching this weekend, has that start record. And there's only 3 sleds to go before it survives another year.
Very nice line for Frigic, and 101 speed here out of 6. That's a very good speed and much, much better looking run than the first run.
Yeah, little late flop there still. Out of 10 into 11, 125.1, best speed of all. This is a challenge for the overall win. He's yet to claim
Wow, I
gold
think
in
that's going to
two-man.
be very close to track record. Oh, he crashed! Out of 15, oh, and he's back. 50.39, still 3/10 faster. That's insane. That's insane. That was so close. Whoa.
2300s quicker than his previous run with a crash.
No way.
Alexander Schuller shakes his head.
I think he exaggerated with let it fly here. The exit of 15 there was insane.
Oh, Schuller's ricked his shoulder now. Hopefully that's just, it didn't look like any other real damage, just a big bump. Here we go.
39, just 500 of the track record. And
Right, this is 15. Letting it fly, very
exactly.
late.
He just let it fly. He hit very hard there, the wall, but look how is the sled. It's unbelievable.
Over.
It's over,
It
but
is over and then comes back up.
it's crazy. And you can hear how they are laughing. It's just insane. What's the...
Oh my, Torsten Marcus on the right sees them crash, and then Alex, wow, France, goodness me.
But this is, in the end, the time of this second run. It's a very good one.
Look how stiff Schuller is. He might not be in the 4-man tomorrow. He's going to need some physio, but 50.39, that's 500ths off the start record.
Yeah.
500ths off, off the track record.
Yeah, that
with
was
a crash.
definitely a very huge hit there.
Well, the track workers are just examining corner 16 right now to make sure there are no dangerous gouges in it. There's Francesco Frigic on the right. He'll be needing a bit of physio tonight, and so will big Alex Schuller on the left. A little bit of a
Yeah, it looks like
gritty, yeah.
And that hit, it was exactly where it is the fastest speed
Yep.
on the track. So
Yeah, 134, 135 kilometers an hour, and that is nearly 85 miles an hour. Just checking there. Across the finish line, less of a drama. It's in 15 and 16. You do not want big gouges taking control of the sled. You want the front of the, at that speed, you want the front of the sled to go exactly where the driver intends, not where the gouges lead it. So if there are big grooves in the ice, they'll slush them in with a little bit of ice, snow mixed with water, and that will freeze a little bit like plastering over a hole in a wall.
and he did an absolutely amazing run. Like on top of the track, it was stunning.
And you know, that's what we talked about between the heats when we were chatting about Friedrich. You know, he never ever gives up. Every time he comes to a track, he knows I can win. And that is his frame of mind. It's not arrogance. He just knows he's got the potential to go and win a race anytime he's in a race, and has done for a decade and a half. And so 2 decades nearly, he's just got that mindset. He knows it's possible. It's like a Roger Federer. When he goes on court, he knows it's possible.
Exactly.
He knows it's not guaranteed he's going to win. It's not a given, but it might.
And it's good to see that he has some competition now, because there were some years when he was just alone, and he was just fighting with himself and with himself, and now.
Well, he definitely has some competition, and actually, again, you know, he relishes that. It's the same attitude that Kaylee Humphries always had. More competitors means more fun racing. It's not much fun if you're in a field of one and you're racing on your own.
Yeah, sled is looking good, and that's most important.
Yeah.
Well,
more important is the crew, because there are plenty of sleds.
Of course,
There's
especially in the German team.
Not many Francesco Friedrichs around, so or Alex Schullers. So yeah,
they look fine, and that's most important. But it was a crazy way to end a run of such a fast run, and I think we could have a track record without that mistake.
Listen, we nearly had a track record there, and they wrecked. You know, that was. How far off the fastest?
500.
Yeah, 500's off the track record. So if he hadn't tipped over there, yeah, he was on for track record. But and again, you know, they target the track record and the start record. Even if the weather's not right, they go, we're still going to try.
Exactly. So in the end, he found almost 3/10 compared with the first run.
Well, and 494 tied the fastest start.
And just 100 from start record, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Mickey Vogt. And just imagine what is in his mind now. Like, what happened? Did he really crash?
Gone back in the changing room to stay warm, because it's going to be a 5-minute hold. And they know this now because it happened in practice a couple of times.
And just imagine that you're on the top of the hill and you see there 50, 34, and track is closed because he crashed.
Yeah.
How the fuck that happened?
I know. And you know, we saw him go over. Whoa, he's gone. Oh, he hasn't. Yeah. He's come across the line the right way up. What are you talking about, you idiot? And then you question whether you actually saw what you think you saw, because it all was in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to tell your pilot what happened, because maybe he can think that you make fun of him.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also okay to remain quiet. Depends how everyone
I think Mickey's fine. You know, everybody's been in the situation in a race or in training. You've been the next or you know, 2 or 3 to go, and you're okay, just sit and wait. And you know, there's a degree of sympathy with the guy that's crashed. You know, the only question anybody ever asks is, are they okay? Exactly, and then you might ask, okay, where did they go? Oh, 11? How do they do? You know, that's the reaction, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know, there are places. Altenberg, 13, yeah, okay, fine, yeah. Altenberg, what do you mean 7? How did they do that? You know, so there's all sorts of. But the only prime concern is to make sure that everybody is okay, because everybody knows that crashes are noisy and painful.
So let's see now. So Mickey needs also an amazing run. Needs something like a 50-34 if he wants to be tied for third, or 50-33, which is already 50-33 means track record.
Well, he was tied with our current leader, Francesco Friedrich.
It's very important also the start. Friedrich push a little bit faster.
Yeah, 494 is the target. How close do they get? 501.
They found 100 too also.
700's back though, so he's now got to come from behind to attack Francesco Friedrich, who laid down an absolute barnstormer of a run.
Yeah, it was a run to remember, like with a lot of things. But Mickey knows the track well, so let's see what he can manage.
Second best speed. But remember how fast Friedrich was. He was very clean up top, and that's always the key for Friedrich. If you've still got speed at corner 4, you're always going to be quick.
Best speed, this is not going in the right direction.
He's lost it early on, and it's not coming back for Mickey Vogt.
He did same mistakes as Simon Friedrich here, and he's 2/10 and half, I think.
Well, now the question is, how far back does he go? Only into second place, because third is 7,600 back, 50.64. Only the same as he managed in the first heat, 50.62.
So he's going to be just on fourth place, but it's still a good result.
Yeah, more mistakes creeping in, but
if nothing happens with the other German teams.
there you go. There you go. We've already seen one German sled crash.
And that's the best one, actually.
Well, yeah, I think Hansi Lochner might argue that, but here we go, out of 13. See, relatively smooth exit, but trying to hold it too hard to the right, and then he gets bumped away as well.
At least entry in 14 was okay, but you prefer a better early entry in 14 than that skid, so.
All right, so Mickey Vogt drops to second. Francesco Friedrich leads, 2 to go. Are we going to have a German podium sweep as we did in men's skeleton for the first time in, I have no idea how long. Adam Amour, Benedikt Hertel, 400s in hand over world and Olympic two-man champion Francesco Friedrich. Not much of a nut to crack. Look at Benedikt
497,
Hertel.
also 100. They found 100. So normally, if we keep it like that, Lochner should push a 493, which cannot tie the start record.
How does Benedikt Hertel even get in a sled? He's wider than a two-man. 400's back. Now Friedrich was flying at the top. Best speed, here we go.
500s. It's like the
oh, little tap into 10. Big height.
700s.
It's going away. He's going to be very close.
He needs to maintain it close. Let's considering that Friedrich did that mistake there.
Yeah.
100 is going to be very, very close.
Doesn't have the speed. He'll be in second at the line. Friedrich leads with 1 to go.
100s.
Well, he is in second place, but that is guaranteed a medal for Adam Amour and Benedikt Hertel. Bronze in Eagles, his second World Cup start of the season, the third of his career, and he will take at least a bronze medal here as well. It's early on. That's where Friedrich built his speed after that start. He was so clean down to corner 6.
It's very clean, yeah. And as you could see, Adam, it was also very clean down. And there were 1100s, but he ended up just with 7. So maybe Francesco didn't lose that much, actually.
Yeah. No, Francesco made his speed in the first few turns, and that's always where he's killed everybody before. And look at the size of Benedikt Hertel. I've got to tell you, Adam Amour, he's not the tallest man. No. He is definitely not small. Okay, Johannes Lochner and Georg Fleischhauer. Now, what an advantage they had over Francesco Friedrich after the first heat. 2800s in front.
Normally should be enough. I'm not expecting and I'm not imagining to see a bad run from.
They're not looking in the rear-view mirror. They are targeting start record, track record. The start record dates back to the 28th of February, 1993, and stays alive for another year.
Wow.
Pierre Luders punching the air with delight. Nobody's beaten me yet.
That's insane.
All right, here we go. Nice, tidy early corners. No mistake. Oh, little skid there from Hansi. 4 down to 5.
A bit wavy in 6, but he managed it well. Fastest
3 into 7, so he's...
It's already almost impossible to see him.
Well,
losing.
he's not got even his first heat advantage alive. He was 2800s up. He's only 2700s up.
Far.
Little late flop, though. The skid. He's going to win this from Francesco Friedrich.
It's going to be a new track record.
Oh, that's a good question.
And it's going to be 50.29, new track record.
Well, he got one of the two. 50.29, track record and a gold medal for Johannes Lochner and Georg Fleischhauer. Georg now with 2 wins on the track and Hansi with 1. Yeah. There you go.
So that, in my opinion, that's going to be a very, very hard track record to beat. I'm not sure when we're going to have the opportunity again to slide at -3 with sun outside. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe in 30 years we're going to say the same about this track record.
Well, who knows? Who knows where the track records are going to go? We're halfway through the weekend. I have to say, I can't wait to come back again the next time. This has been such a fantastic track to watch racing at, and such fantastic racing to watch as well.
A very good race, and it seems like the track in Norway has some German secrets in it.
Yeah. Well, Hansi Lochner, gold, silver, gold, gold, and now gold. Those are his 5 two-man races this season. He's not having much of a worse time in 4-man either. The World Cup points leader extends his advantage as he claims victory over Francesco Friedrich and Adam Amour. Friedrich coming from a a two-way tie for third to take silver with a sensation. Look at the friendship and the comradeship between the two of them is remarkable.
Probably he's asking him, what did you do there? Did you really
crash? You just
crash?
saw Friedrich's hand. Yeah, I crashed and then we came back up. And they weren't watching. They were just focusing on their own race. They're not sitting watching the telly with their feet up like they do in training in St. up in the Bob Cafe, drinking a coffee and watching the telly.
Three Germans here, and another top 6 for Frank Del Duca.
Yeah, behind Mickey Vogt in fourth. Good result for Vogt, great result for Del Duca. Brad Hall, 6th place, picked off one in the second heat as well. Very good for him. And just outside the top 10 as well, the new British crew, John Stanbridge and Alex Cartagena. And happy birthday again to Mum Patricia. Congratulations to you on your birthday, and Stanners taking 14th place, his best World Cup result. Look how close it was, ahead of a dead heat between Sun of China and Tentia of Romania. 4 sleds with Follador covered by 200 to the second. Stanners came out on top of that, but no questioning in the first heat who was likely to be the favourite, and Johannes Lochner and Georg Fleischhauer do not like giving gold medals away. They didn't do so here. They're not likely to do so if they're in a position to win the 4-man race on Sunday either.
Yeah, just don't miss the 4-man race. It's going to be absolutely impressive to watch it, and probably huge track records are waiting.
Wow, look at Hansi on the left and Georg on the right, just absolutely bouncing with excitement. They haven't even seen the replay yet of Friedrich's crash. They're just going to be laughing their socks off, the 4 of them watching it. Lochner leads from Friedrich, Mickey Vogt, Simon Freely, Emil Tsoupulis, and then Patrick Baumgartner's got Adam Amor coming up on the rails behind him. Adam will likely finish in the top 4 at the end of this season.
Frank Del Duca entry in top 10, yeah,
and
without
don't forget,
the race.
he missed the first 2 races of the season, Frankie as well, so he's having such a standout season. But Lochner can barely do any wrong at the moment. Well, there you go. Those are the rest of the World Cup standings. And that's it for Saturday here in Lillehammer. One more day of action. Starts nice and early, 0900 local, 0800 GMT, 0300 Eastern, with women's bobsleigh tomorrow morning, and the 4-man at 1 local, midday GMT, and 0700. And Mihai will be in the sled there with Mihai Tentea for Romania. We look forward to that. Thanks to him for joining us for this 2-man race. Thanks to you too for your company so far this weekend. Join us tomorrow for the women's bob, 9, 8 GMT, and the 4-man, 1300 midday GMT. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye for now.
Happy. Kopf ist noch dran. So toll. Nochmal. Juhu. Bene, du schaust ziemlich schmal aus. Machen wir mehr Brust. Weil du so eine Maschine bist.
Yeah, we have a team of
Das kann nicht. Jeder andere. Ja. Aber bleib bitte, bleib bitte. Georg. Fleischi, her, jetzt hopp. Ja, aber jetzt haben wir mal. Du, lass dir Zeit, wir sind sowieso nicht live. Geh barfuß. Ja. Aber starten wir von das wohl.
Johannes,
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, I knew you would. I know, and they're like down.
Yeah, they're like down.
First, look at this. First it rolls over and it hits the wall, and then it drops off.
That's 1 in 100.
Yeah.
That you will not crash.
Okay, he's okay. No, he's really good.
When the pressure comes back, the whole thing. Never been before.
No.
That's a lot of pressure, but 99.9% you rely on the
Try it in full, man.
Yeah.
That's quick.
quick run. You haven't seen my trainings run. It's similar.
Yes.
Ja, ich glaube schon. Wir haben wir sind 29 gefahren, wir sind 39. Ja gut, da unten ist fast genau. Genau. Ja, der hat oben schon Fehler gehabt im ersten.
Hello. Well, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ready when you are.
Okay.
Okay.
No, serious.
Ready? Come together. Come together. Come on. There you go.
Ready when you are.
Johannes Lochner, Georg Fleischauer, congratulations. A win here. Your first time racing in Lillehammer.
No, that's a great feeling. Especially the track is in a really good shape. The curves are great. The ice is in a top quality. There are no vibrations, nothing. So it makes really fun to slide in. I hope in future there will be more World Cups on this track.
And Georg, that means you're not the only guy in the sled who's got a win here, because you won already in Europe Cup with Max Illmann.
Yeah, that's true. And with Richard Oesner. But with Max, it was my first Europe Cup. And so I told him, we have to win here. I want to win again.
So he told you all the good lines.
No, of course, he's the brain of the team. But don't tell to anybody. That's our secret.
Now, you've just watched a replay of France's second run. Oh my goodness.
For me, that's not possible that you not lie on the side. It's 99% that you will crash. But I don't understand it how Franz could save the sled so he comes on all 4 runners to the finish. It's crazy replay.
I'm not sure if he understands either, but
I think so.
listen guys, 4-man day tomorrow, you're looking forward to it?
Of course. Yeah.
Definitely, yes. It will be a lot of fun and start again, very important, so we give everything.
Yeah, the old guy's start record, 31 years now, but you ended up with a track record, so.
Yeah, track record is fine, but I'm still looking for my first start record, so we were looking on the start record today, but yeah, so close. Next time, Pierre Lidos.
Good stuff, boys. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jungs, so nah, 200 nie am Start geworden.
Komm mal 4 Hände. Bleib mit. Jetzt, oder? 22 Uhr. So, das heißt 22,9 minus 28,3 plus. Ich glaube 19,4, oder? Blaue auch. Ich mache noch unten. Dann mit 12. 19,4. Okay, dann ist 1,5 Kilo Ausgaben. Vorne. Aber jetzt einigermaßen 600 Euro als Kilo fällt. Na, alles gut. Ich sag, die können auch nicht knacken gehen. Eigentlich müssen wir irgendwo mal zulassen, weil wenn man der die gleichen Männer zu 12 Kilometer.
Bist du Schuhe als die denn hier?
Ja. Ja, das passt damit die Schuhe eigentlich. Damit ist fast gerade. Bei Kuchen kommt rein, lässt die Hände rein. Also geht da nicht hetzen, wenn mir das fällt.
Давай. Давай, двигай. Push pilotes. Push pilotes. Ana push pilotes. Push galvas. Izlagaj, bez kanes. Ana stay, Ana. Ana sağ abi bu. Kanes kanes.
Evet sen. Om jag är min partner.
Ja, flyger direkt. total. Helmaj, to ne bo kombinal Bix, koja, Bix na moto. No, kāpēc? Īsten. Amen. Nē, kā? Viņš ļoti Norvēģiem. Ja? Amen. Tu pie Rio pēc skreču.
Of course!
Pie skreču? Jā, bet teku pēc skreču, bet teku šies tebēd izcēlēt skreču. Rišiks. Diev kā bija kanādietis Rišiks. Jā, šitai, jā. Jā. Nē, braušies te, Frīdi mums zelta vienā, Korejā vienā. Tas jau kā bija kanādietis. Šito dzer, mums ir kāds labs, kurā nesmēdīt. Šitos ir viens. Jā, šitos no viens. Springs.
Tagad atceros.
Jā.
Tagad atceros.
Čips, jā. Čips. Springs, jā. Nē, Springs ir te jau autolēs. Jā, tā viņš autolēs. Jā. Hamburgeris. Jā, vai jūs stupid tā? Čips, Springs. Es zinu, es tagad čips.
Center. Olympiaparken and the National Federation of Norway are very grateful that you chose to compete in our track, and we are really excited to finally host a World Cup in Lillehammer again. Congratulations with all the good results. We will now have the award ceremony for today's competition. The medals and gifts will be handed out by Anders Huse, an honored member of IBSF and founder of Hunderfossen Family Park, and Martin Dumpers from IBSF Executive Committee. We ask for the medalists to stand on the podium, and athletes on 4th, 5th, and 6th place, we ask to stand beside number 3 and the red carpet. We're starting off with the award ceremony for Monobob Women Competition. On 6th place, representing Germany, Laura Latte. On 5th place, representing Canada, Cynthia Anya. On 4th place, representing Romania, Andrea Grecu. On 3rd place, representing Germany, Lisa Bukic. On 2nd place, representing Australia, Vienna Walker. And the winner of the BMW IBSF World Cup Bobsleigh Lillehammer 23-24, representing USA Michel.